And we are live. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to this stand down for the May UTA. Hope you guys had a great drill. We're going to get started right away with our slides of three, and that would be Senior Airman Clark. So, Clark, are you ready?
I am ready.
All right, let's do it.
Yep. So I'm Senior Airman Brandon Clark. This is my slides of three. Before we actually get started, this is my family crest, and I've actually went out and got it confirmed and added to the many crests inside of the Clark clan. It has its roots in Ireland, and I got this after my 23andMe report came back positive for literally all races. So if I offend anyone, I am even more offended that you would think that I wasn't as offended as you. Next slide. So who is important to me? To me, family comes first. I have a really large extended family. My family is kind of like a programming project out of the gang of four. They wrote the design patterns, elements of reusable object-oriented software. And kind of like my family correlates to that a little bit. So I'm going to start with the adapter pattern. Next slide. So the adapter pattern, as you can read here, is used to provide a link between two otherwise incompatible types by wrapping the adaptee with a class that supports the interface required by the client. Super easy. Everybody got it. Next slide. So that's my dad. You could see him. He's in the top right corner. Three pictures. And he's somewhere else. He's in the bottom left corner also. So, he's a great teacher, my mentor, and basically has like a size 100 shoe. I doubt that I'll be able to fill in just one lifetime. So he's taught me what caring for people really looks like. My dad came to America with $5 to his name, and he was basically dropped off in Patterson and told good luck. And he made a decision pretty early on to ignore some rather unscrupulous routes that a lot of people that he knew were on. And rather than linking up with them, he decided to ignore that and just focused on working hard. So while some of his friends were riding around in their new Lexuses, like the heated seats and winter tires, he was almost late catching the bus to work because he was searching through the garbage for old Tropicana boxes so he could cover the holes inside of his shoes. So we have a small shed in the backyard. It's in the bottom right corner. And it's not much, but that small shed is just a bit bigger than the house that he was raised in Jamaica. So his trajectory in a lifetime is that of being raised by a single mother in a third world country, being kicked out on the street at the age of 13, to owning a home and raising a family in a county ranked in the top 25 in America for average per capita income. So if we can go next slide. So if that's not the idea of an adapter, I'm not sure what is. Next slide. So I'm pretty sure that my dad would love to think that given other circumstances, he would have gotten his act together and found his way in life without my mom. But as of yet, I've not seen any empirical evidence that would back that assertion. So that brings you to my mom. She's the living embodiment of what the Gang of Four calls the template method pattern. Next slide. So that is the template method pattern is used to define the basic steps of an algorithm and allow the implementation of the individual steps to be changed. Next slide. So this is she is in the top left corner, and in that picture with my dad behind him. And she is also down there somewhere. I think you guys can identify her right there. Yeah, she's on the cursor. So that's Mama Dukes right there, Big C, Auntie On. She gets called Auntie On by people who are not even my cousins. So I have no idea, but that's just like her personality. I've seen her basically pick up our family and, put it on her back, walk miles with nothing but a smile and a prayer. So I've never seen a person radiate the saying, we walk by faith and not by sight more than this woman. She used to weigh around 400 pounds. She got up one day and she just said, yep, that's it, done. And she proceeded to drop about 300 pounds in what seems like overnight. So now I was a kid when that happened, and she went from big mama to little mama with a big heart. Next slide. And yeah, basically she prayed it and then slayed it. Next slide. So yeah, she just continued to live like a life of service and humility and openness and charity. She's a phlebotomist over at Hackensack University Medical Center, and the when the coronavirus started ravaging, northern New Jersey, I gave her a call and I was telling her like, hey, look, we can figure out something. I can come back up there. I can take a second job. You don't have to go to work if they're not protecting you, right? At that time, like PPE was not a thing, and they weren't giving basically a proper training to everybody. So I was like, you don't have to do that. And she came back and told me, she's like, now, what would the world come to if everyone thought like that? Who would be there to help, basically? So that's my mom. Next slide. So my mom, the template for what a good, honest, God-fearing American can truly be, all while encouraging me to find my individual implementation of those steps. Template method pattern. Next slide. Now, I have an older sister and a younger brother. I'm pretty blessed to have 6 best friends, all of whom I'm extremely proud of, and am in active competition with also. But I'm really excited to see what their impact in the world is going to be, because they're working on some really cool stuff. But I would need slides of 1,000 to go through and basically talk about each one of them. Next slide, please. These are my hobbies. So I'm currently saving up for a cheetah. I've been a huge advocate of Golang since its adoption. That's the little gopher in the top right. I dabble in armchair philosophy, and I'm a pretty huge fan of conspiracy theories. I just love watching them. I love to see the logical leaps that people make. And I've found a great joy in cooking steak now, ever since I got what's in the bottom right corner, the sous vide, for Christmas. I also watch way too much To Catch a Predator on YouTube. And I've recently got into buying a bunch of guns down here in Texas. So taking advantage of that. So when I was growing up, if you see the bottom left, when I was growing up, it was always made fun of because I didn't really care about sneakers or anything like that. But for Christmas, I got my first pair of Versace sandals, and I've actually added to that collection with the Birkenstocks and the Balenciagas. So next month I'll be getting the kilted slides, even though they're ugly, but they're essential for sandal connoisseurs. And I've been playing the ukulele, like my favorite artist, Jason Mraz. Next slide, please. Where will I be in 5 years? I'm a peculiar bird, so although I have plans, they are seriously subject to change. As of right now, I see it going like one of two ways. First one is following the most obvious track, which is in business for myself, and eventually having a small place in Costa Rica. But there's an ever increasing side of me that just wants to get away from computers and work with my hands. In 5 years, there's like a 10% chance that I'll have a face tattoo, but a 100% chance that I'll have grills. And lastly, although I'm not sure where it'll end up, I'm pretty sure that I'm just going to be prioritizing the happiness of not only myself, but the people that I love. And that's my slides of 3.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Turning it over to Colonel Dragon. What you got, sir? You are muted.
All right. I'll let Chief take it from now.
All right.
All right. So I'm going to keep it short and sweet, which is unlike me, but it's been a long UTA, and I'm sure you'll all appreciate that. So main thing I want to do is just remind you to not ease up on the brakes, or not ease up on the gas is what I should have said. Don't hit those brakes about COVID-19. The wing has done great. We only have 3 positives and less than 10 through the entire pandemic. So now is not the time. Take coronavirus seriously. Keep your social distancing, your physical distancing. Wear your mask. Like I said, find a comfortable one. Expect to wear one for the months to come. It's just going to be the new norm. Take care of each other. Reach out to each other. Laugh. And take care of your physical, mental, and spiritual well-being. And anybody has any questions or needs somebody to talk to, you always got me. It's 973-670-9164. So if y'all don't have my phone number right now, not my fault. Have a great.
All right. Thank you, Chief. Hey, Colonel Wong, you got anything?
Yes, I'm going to keep it short as well. Good afternoon. Hope everyone enjoyed their second remote UTA. I know there was a lot of training tracks for this UTA. So a lot of work was put in from the full-time staff, as well as our DSGs from the flight commanders and flight chiefs. So I want to give a shout out to them for helping build the schedule out. I know there was a lot of chatter of where was the training, where was the documents for some of the training. So it was a little bit of confusion. We're going to try better to make sure that we post all the information on Slack. So I want to put it out there that Slack is going to be our main collaboration tool. We're not going to use GroupMe anymore. And anything that we can that we normally send out on email, we're just going to put it on Slack just to make it easier, just kind of a one-stop shop for folks to kind of grab the slides, grab the documentation that they need, just to make things easier. Of course, we'll still use .mil email if we have PII or PHI stuff that we need to send out. So with that, I just want to remind folks that in June UTA, or the month of June, we're going to have Green Dragon. And then we'll also have some folks come in to kind of complete their evaluations. We have a couple of folks who are overdue. So we got to go ahead and catch up on that before we get a huge backlog on that. So that's all I had.
All right. Thanks, Lou. I guess we're going to bring in the flight commanders now. Captain Cameron, you got anything?
Sorry, I had to find the unmute button. It's in a different place. I'll keep it short. I just wanted to thank everybody on the ops support flight for having a great attitude and putting forth a great effort this weekend. It's getting better. I think it's getting smoother, but I hope we don't have to do this anymore. I hope we can finally see each other next month. Until then, hope to see you guys.
How'd your sortie go?
We learned a lot. I'll leave it at that.
Good answer. So no transfer of the Dragon Cup?
Unfortunately, no. It's safe for now.
Right.
We'll come after it next time.
You got it. You got it. All right, Captain Riley.
Hey, good afternoon, Ops. Again, thank you for another UTA. Just want to recognize Sergeant Rodriguez. He just got back from school and already spent a lot of extra time learning snort rules. And, just want to say we recognize that, as well as here Walker also destroyed the network and subnetting PC. So good job there.
All right, great. All right, Captain Shepard. I'm sorry, Captain Rehab. Yeah.
All right, just a big shout out to everybody in the flight. You guys crushed it again, so just keep it up. I appreciate everybody's enthusiasm, to take care of their stuff and benefit the unit. So just thanks for that again. And if you guys need anything, feel free to reach out to me anytime. So I'll be around.
All right. Thanks, Captain Shepard. Hey, Jason, do we have the shirt in the waiting room? I think I might have seen her on the side here.
No, I just got a text from her, actually. Looks like she will not be able to make it.
Okay. I'm not going to play the guitar today. Maybe next time.
Can we post the unedited version of Clark's slides out somewhere? Because I know we had to cut him short because of time, but if we can get the unedited version out there, that'd be great for everybody.
Yeah, we'll throw them into Slack or something, all 52 slides.
Yeah. So that's the first thing I want to say. Brandon, you put a lot of work and time into that, and that was fantastic. A lot of passion in there. I love it. And I don't know, maybe it's time to change up what we're doing. We're saying slides of 3. The intent is to get to know who's important to you, what are your hobbies and where you're from and where you see yourself 5 years from now. As long as we can keep all those pieces in there, maybe we should do slides of under 7 minutes. So something to think about, but I really appreciate that, Brandon. That was awesome. It really was. All right. So the only thing I have, great job, everybody. I've been kind of busy doing some other things today and yesterday. Haven't been able to really dive in on exactly what you guys are doing. But I fully trust Colonel Wong. I fully trust all the flight commanders and the Stand-Down CSS. And I know I think we did push 4 more EPRs. Good job on that. No errors at all. 100% accurate. Thank you very much for that. I did want to mention, so on the wing commander's call at 1400 today, he did mention that he doesn't know what's going to happen with June drill yet, but he will know by close of business Friday. So I'll send something out on the Slack channel, let you guys know what that's going to look like. I do know that we will be doing roughly about 8 evals during June's drill, which will be at the squadron. Colonel Wong and Roscom are going to coordinate with those that are going to get the eval, and we will be doing the dry run for Green Dragon. So those are definites. As far as the rest of the June UTA, it's up in the air. So more to follow on that, and Colonel Cosgrove gave us the word that he'll let us know by close of business Friday what his decision is on that. And even with that, all the commanders have flexibility to do RDs and all that stuff as appropriate. So I don't know if there's any other questions about whether or not any other questions besides whether or not I'm going to play this guitar behind me.
Yeah, Airman Hall was asking about the AFPAS email. Do you know what?
Yes. Can you mention? Okay, so there's a requirement for those that are in quarantine. Quarantine as either directed by your doctor or like school order. So we have like Gatlin, Rodriguez, Conaby, and Pronto in quarantine right now, and they're on active duty orders for that. So they need to access AFPAS and indicate that they are in quarantine. And when they're done with the quarantine, they got to go in there and change their status. The same thing with Lieutenant Valentine. She needs to go in there because she's down at Hurlburt right now in quarantine for 14 days. So she needs to go there and update AFPAS on that. I do have the ability, as well as all the other, I don't know what CORE stands for, but those are the folks that can actually go into AFPAS and change the status of folks. So if we have to do that, then we got to do that. But the purpose of the AFPAS is an accountability tool for the command staff all the way up to half Air Force. So, and that's a requirement coming down from half, is that we need to indicate folks that are in quarantine. So active duty knows, Air Force knows what we're, the status of our folks. So did Sierra, did that answer your question?
There's a bit of a delay in the chat, so we won't see anything for a while. So I'm just going to go ahead and assume that was satisfactory.
Okay. All right. So if there aren't any other questions, we can put this drill to rest. I know I put out an email, a Slack thread about, I think it was around 15:30 or so, about the SAPR and suicide prevention training stuff. I do understand that. All right. Thanks, Sierra. That the training is done. It just needs to make its way to Van Duzer. So a really great job, everybody. Real proud of you. Again, I'll let you know what's happening with the June drill by close of business on Friday, and keep up the good work. So is it a requirement to have a beard to be a flight commander? No? Okay. It's showing otherwise here. But great question. If anybody doesn't have any other questions, we can make this a wrap.
It's just highly recommended. It's not a requirement.
All right. Hey, Jason, again, thank you very much for running this. Colonel Guttormson may hop on this and have the entire ops group on something. So I'll fill you in on that later, but yeah,
All right.
we're in high demand. We're in high demand. He may do it. If we do a virtual drill, he may be looking for like an OG call. So we'll work something out.
All right, fair enough.
So all right. So last chance for any questions.
Doesn't look like it.
All right, let's get on with our weekend. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Take care.